Fala assim, Nicolas, Ícaro, um beijo pra vocês. Fala. Manda um beijo pra ele.
Eu quero fumar.
O que você quer fumar?
I have always
Fumar o
loved
quê?
filming things as a kid. In some family videos, you can often find myself asking to hold the camera.
Deixa eu ver eles nos bugs lá. Espera um pouquinho, deixa a mãe ver. O Dudu e a Alissa, lá na tela do computador. O que você quer ver aqui?
Although today kids have this immense access to cell phones and their cameras, for a kid in the 90s, a camera was something much more fantastic, I guess. Like technology from another world.
Mãe, quer fumar.
Quer fumar? Então fuma.
Eu quero fumar.
The amount of physical material is astonishing. Can you imagine every movie that has ever been made throughout history since the invention of cinema? How many meters of film did they use? When you have something you can grasp, it gets a little bit easier to see how much physical material there is and just how much resources were consumed. The digital world makes us forget that. In this century, we are producing information by the minute, like never before, and at an unprecedented speed. Digital imaging seems endless, renewable even. But where on earth do we store all this? Clouds. Internet. Where does the energy to keep our clouds online come from? We still have not achieved full clean energy supplies. A lot of this energy is still wasted and consumes resources that are becoming scarce. Making movies and creating content takes up a lot of non-renewable resources. A typical student film alone usually has a crew of at least 6 people, minimum. Plus the actors, the assistants, the grid, security, that aunt that lended you her old car for the shot, just to mention a few. You have to count the days of shooting, the number of shots, the complexity, the gas for the truck with all the equipment. How many trips? The meals, plates, cups, cutlery. Many times these are made out of plastic. The light. Cinema is nothing without light. So add in heavy lighting equipment to the list. Our reflectors are powerful and energy consuming too. As a student, the more I learned about sustainable development, the more I worried about how my career would affect the environment. And the cherry on top was post-production. Computers, connected, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They would render for hours, sometimes more than once. And once they finished, they would stay there, in eternal sleep mode, but never off. And then, the pandemic hit.
We are continuing to
Will be
see a surge
advised
of
to stay
positive
home.
cases of
If someone
COVID-19
becomes symptomatic while at
and
school,
with
the
Thanksgiving
individual
and
shall be
flu season right
isolated
around the
until they
corner.
can
It's
safely leave
important
the
for us to
premises.
continue taking
Each school in the
precautions even
district
with our
will have a
loved ones.
designated
And I took a big hit too, and changed my field. From the computers and movie sets to the clinic. If I tell you I thought about the medical waste before changing into dental school to make my decision, would you believe me? So dental school was going to put me on a path in which I would perhaps consume even more resources and produce even more waste than I did before. And now, this waste, a great deal of it, would be medical waste, and therefore would need to be incinerated. In this field, there is no reduce, reuse, recycle. The things you can reuse need to be sterilized. They use a lot of energy but don't create as much waste. Everything else, trash, infected or not. Practically nothing is recyclable. And how on earth do you reduce without causing risk to you or to your patient? To ensure our patients and our own safety, we need to protect everything and use our personal protection equipment. One per patient. Even if it does not seem dirty, you change all the time, and it is treated as contaminated waste. The needles are not even the bigger problem here, I believe. The ironic thing is, by protecting ourselves from disease with every safety measure that we use, often we do not think of protecting the environment from this infectious and potentially toxic waste. And by not doing that, we are actually not protecting ourselves effectively. It feels like we are postponing the problem, where we might not get infected or sick now, but we will definitely do so in the near future, if nothing changes. This lake is one of the 3 places on Earth where you can find extremophile bacteria, responsible for the formation of the atmosphere as we know and breathe from today. They were the first ones to create oxygen here. I wonder, if bacteria could think and feel, would they still have made it possible for us to be alive, knowing everything we have done and still do to the planet? Bacteria may not have a mind of their own, but we do, and we can make the change. I still believe so, even as a future dentist. Every day, I continue to reflect on how I can reduce my environmental impact in my professional and personal life. What if we could all do the same?